This is the Angels Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Angels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Just keep winning, baby. Just keep winning. Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and welcome back to the latest edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast, coming at you live, as always, after every single Angels game and after 4 straight wins right here, live on the Locked On Angels YouTube channel, and after the fact, both on the channel and wherever the heck you get the Locked On Angels audio podcast feed. If you don't know who I am, what's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credentialed journalist in the LA area, spent not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 years covering UCLA sports, specifically with the Daily Bruin, writing articles, conducting interviews, all that good stuff. And now in year 2 with the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Our team is the freaking Angels. And the Angels, unbelievable. They've won 4 in a row. 4 in a row. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Obviously, you couldn't have been feeling any better about this team after what they did this weekend, sweeping the Dodgers, doing it in pretty decisive fashion. 3 games where the offense was stellar in all of them. You won a 6-2 game. You won a 6-4 game. You won a absolute thriller on Saturday night. And the question was, coming into this game, what were we going to see from this Angels team? I was at work today, of course, with a couple of my Angels buddies, and one of them said, and if Mike, if you're in here, shout out to you, he said, oh, we're going to get clapped by the Angels or by the A's. We're going to lose 3 of 4, right? We might get swept, right? If we know anything about the Angels, how halo would it be to get swept by the A's or lose 3 of 4 against the A's after sweeping the Dodgers, right? It would just make so much sense. Right. So there was certainly that fear. There was the fear of, hey, this A's team, all the clown show aside with Sacramento and the minor league park and everything that happened with Oakland, and hits home for me. I am from the Bay Area and I have plenty of friends who are Oakland A's fans that hate the team now. But that sideshow aside, the A's and even the name and everything, the A's are better than you would think they are, and they're better than their record would show. A record that is already probably better than most people think it is, right? Some people view the A's the same way they view the Rockies, right? That's not fair. They're not that bad at all. They have a better record than our freaking Angels. So you very well could see the Angels come in and lay an egg in this one. And they did not. They did not. They didn't play a stellar game, right? They still struck out 13 freaking dimes. But really outside of that, a lot of the things we want to see from the Angels every single game, the baseline things, we saw them. We saw them. And we also saw a couple stellar performances. And that's where we're finally going to start with our first segment today.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
We're starting with the player of the game. I know we don't normally start with the player of the game, but the player of the game also had the earliest swing of the game and one of the biggest turning points in this game, and that is Nolan Schanuel. He was phenomenal tonight. The man goes 3 for 4 with 3 extra base hits, 2 doubles, but of course, his biggest swing of the ball game coming in the first inning, 1 out, and he absolutely demolishes one. I mean, this is one of the furthest balls I've ever seen Nolan Schanuel hit in his young career. We know all the conversations about his power. I was just giving him praises in the Dodgers series and how he's turned into a Joey Votto type of first baseman that's going to get on base by any means necessary lately. But how great was him to see him go 3 for 4, 3 extra base hits for the first time in his career. And it started with this 2-1 sinker inside. It wasn't a bad pitch. 2-1 sinker slightly inside the strike zone would have been a ball, but who cares? He was clearly sitting on it against Ginn because he turns on it. 418 feet, 103.1 exit velo. And what is so great about this? A couple things. One, it's Schanuel. He has a huge game. You know how much we prioritize certain guys having huge games, both in what it means for the team in the immediate, but also what it means in the future, right? But the real question, or the real thing that made this so exciting, in addition to it being Schanuel, 4 straight games with a first inning run, 4 wins in a row. Right after, on Friday, I said how this team is below average, just even when they take a first inning lead. And the funniest part is they didn't even have a lead at the end of the first inning in this one, but still, 4 straight first innings with the run. This team is coming. They're showing up ready to play, right? And sure, maybe a couple times it's on one solo shot. And so does the team as a whole get credit for that? No. Does Ron Washington get credit for that? The fact that one guy has one swing, right? No. But still, the fact that this team has 4 games in a row where they score in the first inning and they're 4-0 is not a coincidence, right? It's pretty obvious, but not with this Angels team this season until now. It's pretty obvious that when you score in the first inning, it's going to help you. Now, ironically, Soriano has his worst inning in this whole ball game in the bottom of the first, and he gives up 2 runs. But I'll tell you why, at least in my opinion, I think this home run was even bigger than it just being a run. Because if you're watching this game and the bases are juiced for Brent Rooker, I don't know. Maybe on this specific ground ball, maybe the only option would always be to go to second. But if the ground ball was slightly different, or maybe even if it's this ground ball off of Brent Rooker, and the bases are juiced in a 0-0 game, I see a scenario. Where Rengifo tries to throw it home. I see one. If it's 0-0 and you're not winning this game 1-0, there's a scenario where Rengifo throws it home. They don't get to play at home. The bases are still juiced. It's 1-0 A's, nobody out, and then a 1-0 lead becomes a 3-0 lead or a 4-0 lead, right? Instead, a 1-0 lead gives Rengifo no doubt that he's going to second. And even if there's a different ground ball, right, he's still then more likely to go to second, opt for the double play instead. And guess what? You get 2 outs. They get the run, but it's tied at 1-1. Now, unfortunately, Soriano does give up another run on a pretty fluky base hit, right? An infield single from Langoliers. He barely beats out the throw from Moncada, but still, the point holds. There was a very real scenario that if the Angels aren't up 1-0 at the end of the top of the first, it's 4-0 or something A's at the end of the first inning, right? Now, that's my take on the matter on how big that home run was. And obviously, Schanuel overall has a huge game because in addition to that, he does give you the 2 doubles, right, which were massive, especially one coming in the top of the third right after a Zach Neto single. That made it second and third so that a Moncada ground out scores Neto. And then, of course, we get the big fly. And I know some people are in here arguing with me saying that the turning point or maybe even the player of the game is Taylor Ward. And he certainly is the story of the streak. And even before the streak, he's the story of this stretch. The guy's got 7 home runs in 13 games, right when he was as low could be. And now he has turned into what Mike Trout was this season, if not better, what Jorge Soler has been, if not better, right? He's turning into what Ohapi has been, if we're being honest. And he absolutely demolished this ball. Taylor Ward of the past, when we see 1 out runner on third, we're like, please, for the love of God, just get a productive out for once, Taylor Ward. But lately it's screw it. Not only is he getting a productive out, how about 2-run shot, 423 feet, 107.5 exit velo. Absolutely beautiful. So Taylor Ward, I mean, all you can do is tip your cap, give him all the praises. If there's one thing this guy has always been, he is inconsistent as a player, but he has always been the utmost best professional, right, in terms of how he handles things, goes about his business, dealt with trade rumors last year, dealt with trade rumors in the offseason, probably going to deal with trade rumors this trade deadline. But what has he done? What has he done in his last 7 games? The average is still not crazy, 276. The on-base percentage is still not crazy, 344. The slugging is 828, though, because the guy has 5 home runs in his last 7 games. 5 home runs in his last 7 games. 10 RBIs. He also has 3 walks. Yes, he still has 10 strikeouts to 8 hits. But still, 5 of those 8 hits, home runs, 3 walks, 10 RBI, 6 runs in the last 15 games. And it's actually the last 13 games. 7 home runs. So he's been on fire when it comes to hitting the ball deep. His stats as a whole this season, still not the prettiest. He's still hitting 198. If we could just get that average to like 220, right? As Giga Chad says in here, the value's going up. If you can get that average to 220 and the OPS to 800, prime trade candidate. And I'm sorry, the outfield is real crowded. Prime trade candidate. If it's not him, it's Jorge Soler, who had another rough one tonight and is getting ripped to shreds by the comment section. I saw someone say, and I got to find it to give him his credit because it was that funny. eBay says that Jorge Soler could ground into a double play with no runners on base. That's how bad he's been at times this season. That was pretty funny. But with all that being said, huge game for Schanuel, 3 for 4 with the solo shot. Huge game for Taylor Ward, another game where he only has 1 hit, and he still gave you 2 strikeouts, but it was a 1 for 4 with the solo shot. I think he's a prime trade candidate. He's still never going to be consistent enough. Even when this guy's got 7 home runs in his last 13 games, he's still hitting sub 200. He still has more strikeouts than hits in his last 7. So that still tells you everything you need to know about him as a player, but at least he's saving us with the home runs. He was great. Ohapi, a rare 2 for 4 game where he didn't have 8 RBIs, but we will take it. Increase that average. I know people are going to be concerned about Lugo's 0 for 4, but still, I'm looking at the lineup right now, and I'm happy enough. You had 8 hits, even though there were 13 strikeouts, because we're becoming the home run halos. And like I say up here, it's both good and bad. It's good in that we had, 3 runs via the home run ball of our 4 runs. It's bad that we had 13 strikeouts, no walks, and only 8 hits, right? The good, the bad, but for now, we'll take a win however we can get it. And the good point is the guys we want to do well, outside of Lugo here with the golden sombrero today, outside of that, the guys we want to do well, Neto, Schanuel, Ward for trade value more than anything else, those guys, Ohapi, they all came through, and we love it. Now, after the break, we have to talk about the pitching. Not only my boy, Jose Soriano, but the darn bullpen. If I don't get my butt out of the break and talk about the bullpen immediately, it deserves it. We'll do that after our break here on the Locked On Angels Postcast. Now, once again, today's show is brought to you by Wonderful Pistachios. If you're looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious, crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. It's one of the highest protein nuts because each 1-ounce serving has 6 grams of protein. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller longer. You know it by now. I love the no-shells variety. It's the perfect grab-and-go snack, whether I'm on the way to or from the gym in the morning, on the way to work in the morning, or at work in the morning at my desk. It's that quick protein, and they taste fantastic. But if you are looking for that classic, satisfying feeling of cracking open every shell, the in-shell option, of course, is a classic favorite. So get snacking and cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. And today's show is also brought to you by FanDuel. NBA playoffs in full swing, conference finals now set. Every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. And FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game, both before tip-off and live, with player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays. Fans always have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. So if you're new to FanDuel, that's the other great thing about FanDuel, the promotions. If you are new, it's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com, place your first $5 bet, and if it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Back here live for a 4th straight victory edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast. Angels 4, Athletics 3. The Angels have won 4 in a row after that sweep against the Dodgers, and now they're looking hopefully primed to win another series. This is a 4-game set. Would love to take 3 or 4. It's what I predicted, and maybe after they take 3 or 4, and that would get them to 23 and 26. We're getting closer to 500. We're getting closer to maybe needing to look at the AL West standings. Obviously, going 3 or 4 would help us pass the A's. We're now 21 and 25. They're now 22 and 26. So we're able to take 2 or 3. That would tie us in terms of record, I believe. No, that would give us the lead. We would be 20. No, that would tie us at 23 and 27. Sorry. So would tie us for 4th. We're still nowhere near needing to look at the records and the standings or anything like that. But nice to know that we have an opportunity to move up a little bit more. But outside of that, and I agree with what Nathan says here, these late games suck. Start 30 minutes earlier. I agree. I'm going to actually have to end this show at around 18, 19 minutes for once and not 25. Just because it is late and I actually go to bed pretty early. I'm actually past my bedtime now. But I'm staying up for you guys. So we have to stop wasting time and get to the freaking bullpen. Oh, the bullpen has been so bad and understandably so. No Joyce, no Bachman, no Stevenson, no Caden Dana, for them to do, and even, no Ryan Johnson. Obviously, we sent him down. But the fact that this bullpen, Zephyr John, who had a well over 5 ERA, Neris, whose ERA well over 15, Kenley Jansen's ERA over 5. The fact that all three of them come in, get an inning, only one hit by Kenley, and that's with 2 outs in the 9th. After that, or other than that, one walk from Zephyr John, pretty perfect bullpen outing. How great does that feel? How great does that feel? We never see it. And let's be honest, this game, most times the Angels lose this game, even on this win streak, even on high vibes, right? They always lose these games. It was 4-3 going into the 6th inning. The bullpen has to give you 3 innings going into the 7th, right? And the fact that 7, 8, 9, no runs, no nothing, when it's 4-3, 2 high pressure moments, absolutely fantastic. So not much to say other than shout out to the bullpen. Huge job. Because this was a game, especially early on, where the A's were making it look like they were going to be a frisky, pesky, small ball team, right? They finished with just 6 strikeouts, 5 walks, 7 hits, but it easily could have been 7 walks, 9 hits, and 5 or 6 runs instead of just 3, right? It looked like they were primed for a Pirates-esque earlier in our season, a, Guardians-esque small ball, beautiful game. But instead, fortunately, because of the bullpen, this team loves a clutch double play. Zephyr John got a huge clutch double play in the 7th. Obviously, Soriano is always going to get you a few as well. Huge. They deserve the credit. And we will end the show with giving my boy, Jose Soriano, his credit. Was it a lights out start? No. Did he have another 4 walks, which is starting to piss me off? Yes. Did he give up 6 hits? Yes. Were there a couple times where it was dicey? Yes. Did he instantly blow a 1-0 lead in the 1st inning? Yes. But you know what else he did? He had a perfect 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And he also gave you an additional inning in the 6th that you wouldn't have expected from really any Angels starter after they gave up that inning or that run in the 5th, right? So huge start for him. The final stat line, 6 hits, 3 earned runs. Again, the 4 walks, concerning. He needs to get that better. The 4 Ks, I don't really care about that. We know the type of pitcher he is. But shout out to Jose Soriano getting the job done. And I'll be honest, I'm seeing what's going on in the chat right now. A lot, people going at Nathan trying to defend himself. There's some things I won't talk about in terms of jerseys and stuff like that. But I see what he's saying in terms of, not wanting to get too excited and not just him. I'm seeing people talked about trading Ward. I mean, I talked about that on the show, so I'm not going to criticize that. I've got people saying, are we already concerned about Matthew Lugo? I mean, come on, guys. The guy's been phenomenal. He's still hitting 310. The OPS is still over 1,000. Okay. And he was great yesterday. He was great all weekend, like above great. He's been so good. So an 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. Look, it's the Angels. Everyone's got one of those in them, especially on our Angels. I'm not worried about it yet. He can have one game. It's okay. Someone said, did you listen to the A's announcers tonight? They were awful, just hating on the Halos all game. I actually didn't. Ironically, normally I do listen to the away broadcast, but tonight I didn't. I was actually watching this game while listening to it on the radio, if that makes sense. I actually don't get this game on my phone. Or I don't get Angels games on my phone, unless I'm watching the away broadcast. Tonight I was watching the game on my TV, but was listening in my headphones to the radio broadcast. I don't know. Weird. Yes, maybe, but didn't hear their announcers. So that I guess they were bad. I saw a couple people say that, but long-term, big picture, the win, it's great. It's fantastic. The best part of this, like I said, the guys you want to do well, Jose Soriano, Neto, Schanuel, Ward, Ohapi. If Lugo could have played better, that would be great. But other than that, the trade guys and the young guys all came through. Soriano, we care about so much. That's our ace for a while. He was fantastic. And the bullpen that has been so awful. And if we want any chance of doing anything this season, has to turn around a little bit. They were perfect. So you check all the boxes. Ron Washington didn't do anything crazy. There still was an error, but still, we will take it. We've won 4 in a row. We have to win 3 out of 4 against the A's. We need to do it for us to start really feeling good before we have an interesting stretch. Then you've got 3 against the Marlins. And come on now. You win 2 out of 3 against the Marlins. That's 3 consecutive series wins after a competitive series against the Padres and even a competitive series against the Orioles, right? So then you got the Yankees after that. We'll get to that when do we get to that. But for now, big win. Let's do it again tomorrow. Another late first pitch, 7:05 again. I'll be back here tomorrow night. But for now, enjoy the rest of your Monday. Angels win 4-3. Angels have won 4 in a row. Let's get another one tomorrow. And as always, folks, go Angels. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Take care.